The views and opinions of your boy Derrick are those of the host and does not necessarily reflect that of the Nighthawk Network or the views and opinions of its associate members. Viewer and listening discretion is advised.
Hey bitches. Hey bitches.
No, shorty, I got this one. I'm your boy Derrick, and it's time for the remix.
Once again, coming to you live from Baltimore, Maryland, it's the remix with your boy Derrick. Now let's talk about it.
What's up? Happy Friday. Welcome to the remix. I'm your boy Derrick. We're going to get it on and popping. This is going to be a wonderful night. We have a lot to discuss. I'm not going to prolong things because I have my brother who's going to be here with me, but he's only here for a short while, so I'm not going to do all my other stuff that I normally do. We're ready to bring this shorty on right now. You know what I'm saying? All right, here we go.
What up, though?
That's my brother who's very busy. That's E-Buck. That's Big E. You know, the COO of Nighthawk Network. He's a mover. He be moving and shaking. Sometimes I worry about my bro because I think he be moving and shaking too goddamn much. But it's okay. I let him do what he do. Say something to him, bro. Say something to him.
Good. I'm good. What's going on, family? Shout out to the people that support our Nighthawk Network as always. Shout out to you, the people. Also, we gotta, before we begin, say a quick prayer for the one we know as DMX, who passed today. Pray for his family and friends during their time of mourning. Amen.
Amen. You know, that thing touched me something different because I'm really not a hip hop or a rapper kind of a person, but the way he did it touched me different than than the other rappers who seemed like that they were just so raunchy and so ragged with it. But I am going to tell you this, and y'all seen the little thing. Hey, Big Meech, what's up? Y'all seen the little disclaimer. You know, everything I say is my goddamn opinion. Okay, now we know that the man had a rough life, and it's getting on my nerves because you know everybody's talking about his addiction. Yeah, addiction was a part of his life, but I personally think that he did some wonderful things. As far as his music career, as far as his acting was concerned, and you know what? And the thing that pisses me off the most is that because everybody think that they look on him so bad because he had an addiction. Guess what? A lot of motherfuckers here in America have addiction, and then I think people look at him differently because of who he was and the kind of money he made, and like he was exempt from that shit. He's not exempt from that. He first and foremost, he's a human being. Then I read and blew my mind. I read that he had like 15 damn children,
Yeah, that we know of.
and one of them is here in Baltimore. Oh, I said,
Yeah, I
okay,
mean that's the thing. He not only left a legacy with his music, but obviously left a legacy with his legacy.
with his third leg. Okay.
Well, I wasn't gonna go there, but yeah, he was stroking.
He was.
That's what he be doing.
They must have wrote that song by him because I be stroking.
That's what he be
That's
doing.
what it be. And DMX, we send up prayers for you and your family. We also send up prayers for Prince Philip. He
Right.
went on to the other side. And you know what? I don't know about you, Eric, but when things happen like this, I just become eternally grateful that I'm yet still here.
Right. I mean, because the thing was, I did a little tribute to him on one of the other platforms this evening, and at one point, I just felt so thankful to be alive
I'm
because
serious.
because I realized, especially when I saw the report earlier, DMX is the same age I am.
Yes.
50 years old.
And you know, it just whew. And let me tell you this. I don't care, and this is me speaking. I don't care how saved, I don't care how sanctified you are, I don't care how Holy Ghost filled you think you may be. Come on here, somebody. Death is something that you're never prepared for. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Exactly. Exactly.
Even when the doctors call everybody in the room and say, well, blah, 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 that she's gonna be gone at 2:15, but you're not ready.
Right. Because we know at one point we're not gonna be here no more, but we ain't never really to truly accept that. So,
Right.
I
And you
mean,
know,
I
it's
think deep in the back of our mind we think, well, not me so much, but everybody else, you know?
yeah, and you know, it gets under it really got under my skin because like we had said before we came on air, regardless of how famous he was, regardless of how much money he made, everybody need to realize first and foremost he was a damn human being. Period. Meaning that he's acceptable to flaws. Shit is gonna happen in his life that we don't agree with, but guess what? Instead of all of us sitting up here talking about all of his misfortunes, how many of us really got on our hands, on our knees, and prayed for the brother? How many people on this podcast or anywhere around the world can honestly say that they've actually prayed for DMX?
Right. And my whole thing was, people was all down and, he gone and, my thing was that brother still lived 50 years of life. His dash meant something. The musical legacy, not to mention his 15 children he left behind, that's going to make his mark on the world for years and years to come. Be thankful that he was able to do that. Remember, this unfortunately was the last issue that he had, but he had other issues. He may have been taken from us way before this. There was a reason and a purpose why he was here for as long as he was. And he served that purpose.
And God knows he did. He, like I say, he my opinion. I don't give. You know, this is my thing. I think he for the time that he had on this earth, this situation should make us who's around his age begin to think and be more. Come on here, oh, Jesus have mercy.
Yeah, like I said, once you get to a certain age, life hit different.
It
It,
does.
it seemed like the time flies, but in the same token, you seem more and more thankful for what you had. You
And you
you
know,
live
I'm even,
in a whole different way.
and I often, and Miss Pat can attest to this, and probably my son too. I often say, I don't have a big home. I don't have a car out front. I don't have a pocket full of money. But guess what? I have somewhere to lay my head every night. I.e.,
Mhm.
I'm not homeless. I have
Exactly.
food in my refrigerator.
Right. Absolutely.
I just think we just take it upon ourselves to take so much for granted, and tomorrow is not promised to any of us. Not you, not me, not anybody in the comments. Tomorrow's not promised to anybody. So yes, I'm at the point in my life that I'm gonna live life like every day is my last damn day. I don't want to get to the point in my life and I get to be 60 or 70 and say, I wish I had did this. I wish I had did that. No, when I get to those points, I want to say, yes, I went to Jamaica. Yes, I went to, and and like my son said, all right, they bash him instead of helping him. And that's and you know what? And the sad thing about it is, if it was not for the grace of God, some of us would be in that same damn position.
Right. I mean, think about it. For most of us out here, we just two or three things away from being in an entirely different set of circumstances. I'm thankful for what I have, but Lord knows I could wake up tomorrow and this house could burn to the ground and everything in it.
Right.
I'm not working right now. Hell, unemployment could cut me off tomorrow and I don't have no job. My life could be on a whole different plane, just like that. So because I know that and I feel that way, I gotta be thankful for what I had. And I'm
Right.
as these people move on and his family that hopefully he left something to that they're thankful that one they got to know their dad because some of us wished our father was here and some of us never got to know our dad or our mom at all.
Right. And then like I mean that's almost like um as African Americans, and me, you always research this often. I'm just praying that he was able to leave something for his family that wasn't caught up in that IRS bullshit. Because unfortunately, a lot of it. Let's keep it real, honey. Come on here,
Right.
R to the E to the AL. A lot of our people into entertainment business, no matter whether it's their manager, their accountant, or whatever. At the end of the day, you think this man is worth boom, 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 but then when he passed away, IRS stopped, and you realize this man is worth five goddamn pennies.
Right. And then you're so busy living for now, you ain't thinking about the future. Then you run into situations like what's happening with the sister Aretha Franklin. It's she been gone for almost 2 years now, and they still don't know what's supposed to happen to all her estate.
Right. The
It's
examples are
crazy.
in good point, Meech. The examples are in his music. He is also a testament about what mental health awareness and need insurance is all about. We must honor
Absolutely.
him and understand that black folk need mental health coverage. We need to learn how to cope with life. And I'm glad you went there because I'm ready to come right with you. Listen, children. Listen to Derrick. Listen to Mother, whichever one you want to identify me at this particular point in time. Mental health is no joke, and don't think just because somebody is not have 29 different personalities that they don't have mental health issues. Learn your shit. Google your shit. You can't help somebody with something if you don't know anything about it.
Right. There's a reason why people are coping the way they are coping. There's a reason why there are increases in the sales of alcohol, the sales of marijuana, the sales of prescription drugs, the use of illegal drugs. These are coping mechanisms for a lot of people. This is how they're trying to get through their daily life. They're not looking in terms of, okay, who can I talk to? Who can I gain some understanding from? They're medicating and trying to treat themselves for something that they can't do by themselves.
And it's like my son said, we have to live like it's our last day because we just don't know the day or the hour. Here today, gone tomorrow. No, baby, here today, gone today. You ain't got to wait till tomorrow. It's out the door
Mhm.
now. It's here today, gone today. And it's sad because you know what? We need to begin to embrace and realize that certain things are just going to be a part of life, period. People getting caught. I mean, you talk about he was crack. Well, guess what? You got people who are addicted to sex. You got people who are addicted to food. You got people who are addicted to prescription drugs. You got people who are addicted to heroin. You got addiction is not one way. And guess what? Addiction don't give a fuck whether you rich or poor.
Exactly.
He is no longer in torture. May he finally get the peace he was searching for. And I pray in him getting his peace, he's gone. People, don't bash him. Think about the good thing. He has goodness and think about some of the good things. Think about one of them songs he wrote that every time you hear that song, you're gonna think about him. Or think about what you was doing when you first heard that song. You know what I'm saying?
Like
We all got negative
I love
aspects
to
in our life.
play with him right now without Facebook throwing us off of here. But the last song I played today in my tribute, it was "Baby, It Will Be Okay," where he talks about his grandmother and how much he misses her, and basically his life ain't been the same since. I like to think, okay, now he's at peace because finally he is with the one person in his life that truly loved him for unconditionally being him.
Hey, let me do this. So y'all, please excuse me. I'm not being rude. Forgive me. I just got so caught up in that. Good evening, Renard. Hey, Miss Pat. Hey, my wonderful niece. Unique. What's up, Paul? My son. What's going on? Of course, Big Meech. Hey, Willie. How are you? And I just um um this thing that Meech said it's so deep and it's so important because some of us got so caught up in his negative in the negative things in his life that we even forgot to ask God to pray for us and deliver us from that.
Hmm.
It's a shame that he's no longer here and you taking time out of your day to walk around in the negative shit he did back then.
Mm.
I hate to be the bringer of bad news, but he had like 14 kids and owed tons of money to the IRS, and what little he has left is expected to be taken by them, leaving next to nothing to his. And you know what? And pride, no shade and no disrespect. That's not bringing no bad news,
No,
but
that's
not to
more,
me.
unfortunately, that's more or less what we expected, my friend. But
And,
I'm hoping that somehow from it, I mean, because keep in mind, sadly, some people are worth more dead than alive. And that might be the case for him. This might bring back a whole surge of DMX. It's happened before. When
yeah.
when Aretha died, several of her songs hit the top 10 again, just like that.
hmm hmm
Perhaps that will happen and bring some revenue that take care of all that.
I really believe that some of his songs are gonna like. I mean, like keep in mind, even with Michael Jackson, with Prince, unfortunately, in this ratchet world we live in, like you say, sometimes we're more valuable dead than alive.
Sad but true.
And me say, we have to learn to trust somebody. And I do have, that child, that's been one of my issues since I was knee high to grass up. We don't trust anyone anymore to have a shoulder to lean on. Well, you know what? I can regress that. Now I do. Now that I have the Nighthawk Network, I'm grateful that I have that. I'm grateful that people are learning me. I'm grateful that people know that I'm a little bit different because when I battle my, call them what you want. When I battle my demons of depression, I'm different than most people because I need to be left alone. I know a lot of people when they deal with it, they need to be around people, but that don't work for me because my thing is sometimes when I'm around people and they really, really don't know me, they'll do something or say something that'll trigger me. So it's best for me to be alone. When times are hard because we have become so accustomed to making sure we have a weapon or something to hold over someone's head and that has been going on since the beginning of time. And we all are sinners and we all fall
But,
short of the
but,
glory
but
of
but
God.
keep in mind, Mitch, we also, as African Americans, I know you prefer not be you group everybody as people of color in there, but we as African Americans, we tend to not be trustful of anything. That's why we're going through this whole thing with the virus vaccine right now. We tend not to trust nothing and nobody, especially when
Hello,
it
my
comes to
beautiful sister. I need all y'all. I copy off my brother off, and I need all y'all to do me a favor. Give me that shout out for what city you call that you up in here from. Hey, my beautiful sister calling from Virginia Beach, Virginia. I know that's right. Read that for me, brother. Can you see that?
as a child of a mother with drug dependency and born with it myself, the person has to want to quit drugs, and nothing other people do or say will get that monkey off their back. X has been to rehab several different times, and unfortunately, it never appeared to work. He had a known habit since before he ever got signed, which is true.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, we know, and unfortunately, his habit started in one of the worst ways possible. Putting trust in somebody, and you thinking you smoking one thing, and you end up and look. Let me tell you something. I want y'all to listen to me. I never was on any of those drugs like that. I don't know. I never been to the place where I heard that everybody who do these drugs they still do them because they want that very first feeling they got off that first hit. You ain't never gonna get it. You got but we if you have never been in that space, and when I mean in that space, I don't mean necessarily you're being the one to do it. You could be in that space because you have a family member that does it. It's not easy, but in order to cope with it, everybody have different ways of coping with things. And I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe his way of coping with things was, hey, Cat, I'm Amy. Maybe his way was coping with things was trying to be in more movies and writing more songs. What Miss Amy say? Oh, this is a Big Meech.
Mhm. His time on Ayala's fixed my life. We saw how he was in a state of breakdown as he could not cope with what the lessons were for him to heal. He could not accept what he had to do for his healing. That was hard to watch. But we saw he needed help, and his entourage did not do what should have been done to secure it for him. And like I said, he is not uncommon to that scenario, particularly when it seems to come to these athletes, these actors, these performers. I mean, we think about the Michael Jackson situation and Prince and other performers like that in the past where they had their little circle of people, but because they more or less fed or ate because of them, they tended not to deal with them the way that they should have.
And you know what? And you make a good point, Meech, and you make a good point, brother, because a lot of them, unfortunately, end up with that inner circle that is there for a paycheck. Anything outside of that, it's like, oh well, you got a problem with this. That's your problem. I ain't gonna tell you nothing about it because first of all, I don't I don't want to say anything about it because you probably gonna find my ass.
Right. Okay. To answer your question, Amy, we have yet to get that information. We have not ascertained those toxicology reports or anything at this time, so we're
Right,
not
we're
ready.
not. Amy, that's a good question. But when we find out, we'll put it out there. But what we try to do here, on thanks to that research department like Amy and Eric, we try to put out factual stuff. I don't want this man is no longer here, so I don't want to be on my show or any platform where somebody's taking upon themselves to put out a bunch of untruths about anybody.
Right. Keep in mind, as early as last night, they were already saying that he was dead, and there were certain people posting on their Twitter account that he was dead. But I did not want to put that out there. I waited till I checked multiple credible sources before I announced that on my Facebook page earlier today.
Yes, but I'm quite sure that that's going to be a headline in Rolling Stone magazine or somewhere what he actually succumbed to.
Right. I mean, in the world of the TMZs and whatnot of the world, I'm pretty sure over the next several days and weeks, we'll get all the extraneous information in regards to what happened and why and how.
And see, that's why you often heard me say, little brother, that I've been blessed to that God has blessed me to be able to find positive things out of negative situations. Because if I don't, I wouldn't be in a good place.
Exactly. Yes, exactly, Amy. Usually those reports take anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. That's correct.
And they do, and that's the thing that I'm hoping that we as people realize. The man just died. The report not coming back that damn quick.
Right. And if it did, you should question it.
If it came back that quick, guess what? I need to know who the toxicologist was because ain't no way, unless y'all just been putting wool over our eyes all these damn years, and you can get the toxicology report the same damn day.
Keep in mind, there's literally thousands of drugs that people can intake in their body. And because it takes that long, it's because they have to determine levels of how much of this was in your system, how much was that. They have to test the blood samples. They test different parts of your body in terms of the toxicology. It's not something that you can just up and do. Several people have to be involved in making that complete report. Same as if you do a thorough background check or
Yeah.
an autopsy. Several people usually have to tend to that body and certain organs and what have you. That's why these things take that amount of time.
And certain parts of your body will show up like now we've realized that people they can pull a strand in your hair and find out as much as about you as just as much as drawing blood.
Exactly. And she said it took 16 weeks for her friend. And sometimes it depends on where you are, how important they feel that information is to get. They
Say
will
that.
bypass certain people to get to other people. You would think because DMX was a famous character that they would kind of build him up on the list. But keep in mind, if I remember right, he died in New York. We got COVID going on, paperwork, people working from home. It could very well be that long.
But look, and look how long it took them. If y'all can remember back, look how long it took them to come up with the toxicology report for Anna Nicole.
Or Michael Jackson either. It took a
Right.
couple of months before they got that.
And like you say, which is a very valid point, Eric, and people need to wake up and realize this. In this day and time, it depends on where you are and who you are will determine what the hell is going to happen. And if anybody's blind to that fact, I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly.
According to Willie D from the Ghetto Boys, whom had a relationship with X, he said he was told last night by his cousin that he had pulled the plug and was waiting for the rest of his close friends and family to be notified before announcing it to the press
Yeah.
today.
According to Lunel, who also was apparently a good friend of X and their family, she had a similar discussion in regards to what she reported last night as well. So that may very well be true, Brian.
Yeah. Do you know if he was doing pain management or he was doing hard drugs?
I can only assume at this point. Don't quote me on none of that, but my assumption is, yeah, it probably was some type of harsher drug. I definitely don't see that. I'm pretty sure he did not OD from marijuana or something like that. It had to be something serious.
Yeah, but we all are patiently waiting. Just like I said, and I can speak for the Nighthawk Network because my COO is right here. We're all going patiently waiting, and we want to report the facts on this because the thing that's bothering me with this is that I just see so many people just harping on he had an addiction. What maybe probably about maybe hypothetically speaking, maybe about 40% of Americans have some sort of addiction. It might even be more than that. But
Right.
because of who he is, you're paying more attention to his addiction.
And it's like it seems like a lot of that when we talk about it, the people that tend to harp on that, they tend to be very judgmental. But in your own life, you will not want nobody to judge you in regards to that. So why again in this age of the internet and the internet gangster and whatnot, you tend to be very what's the word I'm looking for? Very hurtful in your comments. Whereas
Yes,
if in actual real life somebody had to come up to you and ask you, did you say that? You wouldn't open your mouth to say a word.
at all. But I'm a now she said Anna Nicole was because of the authorities. Yeah, and,
The,
and,
expedition, the expedition laws and such, exactly.
And just like Eric said, y'all gotta realize, depending on where you are when you die, is gonna be a contributing factor to how quick your toxicology report. And then you also gotta realize, depending on where you are, different states or different countries, everybody don't do a toxicology report the same way.
No. I mean, you got to think about it. New York being New York, I'm sure there's several places that do it. But again, remember, we got the pandemic going on. Offices are half open, half shut, working from home, what have you. But then you got a place like the Bahamas. The Bahamas may have like two places on the whole island that does any of that work. So that might be part of why as well.
Yeah, so I don't think I say to y'all guys, let's just be patient and let's just wait. Let's just wait for the facts because it's too many naysayers already. Everybody's just so jumping on or blah blah this, blah 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 that. But no, no. This is
Okay,
my
Amy
th-
is saying I'm asking because with my best friend she overdosed, but it was ruled accidental because it was fentanyl. Years later, we speculate that it was a counterfeit pill, and oftentimes that is the case, particularly in this day and age, where people think they get one particular medication, but it's laced with something else, or it's marked as one thing, but it's actually something else, a cheaper version, knockoff version, you know, a version of something that's not that at all.
let's get. We want to talk about it. Let's get real. That's the same thing with the as we call them, or I call them club drugs. You think you buying a Molly, you might be getting a goddamn dolly. You think
Mm-hmm.
you buying an E pill, you could be buying a fucking F pill.
You think you're getting some lean drinking, there might be some extra stuff in there that ain't got nothing to do with lean.
Right. You think you ready to smoke a blunt with somebody and you smoking a blunt that's laced with everything but the goddamn kitchen sink, but you
Right.
don't know.
Y'all remember the movie Friday? It's Angel Dust Holmes.
Hmm. This is my big head daughter. It was told at the age of 14 that his friend laces,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Yeah, and this y'all know I like my herbal essence, but let me tell you something, honey. If we gonna get off together, man, I gotta be there and watch you while you don't come to my house with nothing already rolled, because bitch, I'm not smoking that with you.
Mm-hmm.
And those are things that and let's keep it real. Those are things that we think that said, well, this not gonna happen because this my bitch.
You never
Friends have
know.
fucked up a lot of friends' lives. Don't ever believe that. So you have to take the initiative and realize, besides God, nobody's gonna look out for you better than you. That's my daughter. I'm still waiting. I hear from Amy. Ain't nobody telling me where they're from besides Miss Pat. What, y'all don't love me this evening? I, y'all don't. They don't love me, Eric. There's a 2020 about Prince's death regarding
Mm-hmm.
counterfeit pills. Right. Also a great one about Anna Nicole and her demise. Yeah, and
Yeah. And you can find both of those on YouTube, by the way.
Anna Nicole, she just dealt with so much because of the guy that she married. Her family and everything was bashing her. So you need to really sit back and look at all that these people. Yes, most people say, "Well, girl, why you marry that old ass man anyway?" Blah blah. Then people say, "Oh, well, she married him for the money." But girl, I don't know what she married him for. You weren't there, but at the end of the day, she was still his damn wife. It would be your own. And the thing is, he probably sat there and said to myself, "This is regular weed because this is my homeboy. He would never do this to me." And you was the first motherfucker that he popped.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Annapolis in the building.
That's
Annapolis,
in the building.
we
Y'all
is in
know
the
Detroit
building.
is in the house. Y'all see it.
Yeah, Detroit.
I
We got
see it.
Detroit in the house. Where Amy? Where Amy from? Eric.
Amy is rocking out of Birmingham, Alabama, if I
All
remember
right,
correctly.
Alabama, Bama. We got Baltimore. My daughter Montrese. All right, y'all. My brother can't stay here long because he have another engagement. Well, we're gonna keep. We're gonna We got. Oh, we got some topics to talk about tonight. I'm gonna talk to y'all about some stuff that's gonna make your head
Mhm.
spin. But we're gonna be here for it, honey. My opinion is that anytime there are drugs involved, it's tragic. No one deserves to die. And you know what, Amy?
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
totally, I totally agree with you, and I just wish that I think sometimes in this country, the things that we need to be paying more attention to are the things that we don't pay attention to. Y'all want to put all this time, money, and effort into this and into that, but things we need to put time and money into things that's going to better people's lives.
Absolutely.
Nobody, and then you also know. I mean, even when these celebrities go to celebrity rehabs, they're not the safest place to be. The paparazzi is still there whenever the fuck they want to
Mhm.
be there. So it's
Not
not like you have any privacy.
not to mention they celebrities. So in the ideal world, if they want it bad enough, they can pay one of them staffers. Look, I give you the 20,000. You sneak this up in here, and they'll do it.
Hmm. Hmm. One of the paparazzi could pay one of the staffers to go up in the camp and start taking. So this shit it's not
Exactly.
new. This shit is 100% real. I'm a huge Prince fan, and like Amy said, I believe he was unable to get prescriptions anymore, and possibly started getting pills from street dealers versus the pharmacy at the point of his death.
But as you remember, if you go back to some of the TMZ footage that showed that particular morning, he was leaving the CVS and actually picking up his own prescription. What I actually think it is, Pride, this is my own conspiracy theory, that basically the medicine he was getting from the pharmacy was not what he was taking in real life. And
Yeah,
because he was trying to account for,
mass.
okay, I need three of these as opposed to what I've been taking, and so on and so forth. And I think that was led to his overdose myself.
Yeah, because I think he still was gonna just to save face. I think he still wanted people to see him going to the pharmacy.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Which would take people off of his trail, so to speak.
right. Because keep in mind, remember they said it started out with him doing pain management because of all those nights of performing on stage left him with bad hips. He had hip surgery and was dealing with that type. So then the pain pills led to other things.
Yeah, it's like you got to keep in mind that like for me, for instance, I tell my doctors with the most she can give me is a Motrin anything. I don't want no perks. I don't want this. I don't want because I myself, Derrick Smith, I'm scared of addiction.
Hmm.
So whatever I need to do to make sure I don't go down that path, then that's what the fuck I need to
Right.
do.
Keep in mind, there was a point in time in my life I dealt with pain on an everyday basis. I had bad feet, had to have feet surgery, what have you. I was working 12, 14 hours a day in pain just about that whole time. I was going to bed in pain, waking up in the middle of the night in pain. That being said, I would not take nothing stronger than a Tylenol or a Advil.
Right.
Because yeah, I did not want to be addicted to none of that stuff either.
Because I actually have two slip discs in my back, and this may sound funny to y'all, but my my therapist told me my physical therapist said, well, you know what? I think it may help you when you walk around in heels. I'm like, nigga, if you think I'm gonna walk around in heels 24-hour motherfucking day, you done fell and bumped your whole goddamn head. He said, because it makes you stand different. Well, bitch, guess what? I'm not doing it. I just, so I do take my. I think the most potent thing that I will take is my muscle relaxers, and I'm very sparing. I'm very sparingly when I take them.
Right. You might be right about that. Yeah, put that up. If I'm not mistaken, he should have had hip surgery, but he chose
He
not
did.
because he was a Jehovah Witness and they can't have blood transfusions. You might actually be right about that, Brad.
Yeah, he did. He did. He did have. I know he had hip surgery, most definitely. And then he used to walk around in heels too because he was so damn short.
Right. But if you remember those last few years of his life, you often see him walking with a cane
Right.
because that particular side of his body was in pain, basically from doing all those splits and whatnot on the piano.
And he wasn't a big boy.
No, remember he was all of about 5'2".
Right. So I mean, one Percocet for average. I mean, if he took two or three Percocet with his little ass body, he'd probably be high as hell. So I just wish that sometimes when we look at our celebrities, we set their celebrity status aside first and foremost, and just come to the conclusion that he's a human being, she's a human being, they are human beings first and foremost, so they're not exempt from being addicted to anything.
Right.
So if I'm not mistaken, yeah, he and it's a lot of them because Michael Jackson really got into his thing was when he had that commercial thing. Remember with
Right.
Pepsi?
Right.
That was like a start. I'm not gonna say that was a start, but that was like a big part of when he started using pain killers. Well,
Right.
as we call them, that's what old people call them,
Right.
painkillers. But I don't think they call them painkillers now. What do you call them?
right? I mean, well, more or less that's what it is.
Yeah.
But
So
he had that going in court. They say he was also suffering from, large bouts of depression as well.
right. And people always think because these people here, yes, they're stars and they suffer from depression. Yes, they have multiple personalities. But sometimes you gotta have a multiple personality to deal with motherfuckers in this world.
True.
So I just ask my all of my fans and all the people on the Nighthawk Network, just please keep him, his family, and his friends in your prayer. And in your prayer, you don't need to go all into the man's life.
Right.
God knows everything, and just ask God to just watch over his family, keep them in peace, and we're gonna be good with that.
Right. And get his children strength because y'all know some of them folks by Monday they're gonna be drag his name all through the mud. You're gonna find out all types of stuff about that man that did not even ever need to see the light of day. But I also
And
hope that you also find out some of the good that he did. Because
and
I
not even realizing that all those things that they do and say is affecting his children. You can't
exactly.
put things on mainstream media and because you mad at him or whatever, but you got to keep in mind that this man has a mother, a father, brothers, sisters, and children.
Yes. Grandchildren, in fact. So
Right. So I mean, like I said, it blew my mind when I found out he had 50 that we know of.
that we know of.
So he was slinging. Okay,
Now,
let me
that
stop.
being said, if it's some extra ones, I'm sure they're gonna be coming out the cracks.
Oh, now they are. You know,
Right.
but you know how it was with Prince. He had all these damn other brothers and sisters
Right.
once he
All of
died.
a sudden, sons was popping up and everything.
I was like, okay, children.
True.
Yeah,
True.
yeah, but let me see. Yeah, because if you read his thing, his early story, his DMX mother was a Jehovah Witness.
Mm.
And at one point in time, they had gotten a car accident, and because she was a Jehovah Witness, they didn't file a claim.
Right.
And DMX was like, "That could have been $10,000." I was like, "All right," but depending on what religion you are, will determine what you will do and what you don't do. They don't get blood transfusions. They don't do that. I mean, I think the Amish are like that too.
Yes, they are.
They don't. The Amish and the Mennonites,
Don't believe in transfusions or in vaccination. So
right?
keeping that in mind, it's gonna be interesting to see how they get dealt with post pandemic.
That blew my mind because you remember that time we had a little scourge of mad cow disease, and a lot of them Amish people have cows and horses and cat. I'm like, well, but
Yeah.
but very rarely do you hear things about them, or maybe they just keep it under wraps and we don't know.
I'm sure that's some of it. I mean, just like you
Because
don't hear a lot about the Mormon community in terms of what some of the things that they do.
because the Amish community is big. I know they got a big Amish community in Ohio. They got one in
Philadelphia,
Pennsylvania.
right?
Yeah, they Amish and the Mennonites. And if you guys don't know the difference, the only difference, one of the differences is that the Mennonites are more modern than the
Yeah,
Amish.
yes.
Yeah, the Mennonites, the Amish, they don't believe in no electric or nothing
Actually, right now they would not be watching this show because they don't play TV. They
at
don't play.
all. At
They do
all.
stuff to survive. I know you can't tell anyone what to do with their money, but hopefully some of these big balling celebs who have used him to make money and collect their millions and some billions of dollars, maybe pay off his debt to the IRS and or look out for his family after the smoke clears. And I think we all can think of a few such as Jay-Z, Russell Simmons, Damon
Yeah,
Cat,
because
uh,
because because at the end of the day, when he was making money, most of those people was making money because he was making
people like
money.
Irv Gotti, etc., etc. Yeah, and cellular communities are typically safe from disease solely because they have limited contact with the outside world, right? Well, yeah, it is said that. I mean, for example, there are certain island countries throughout the world where basically they are not sovereign by any particular country. They're not English or Latin or whatnot. They're their own basic place. And it's just been agreed upon by the people that live within those communities. Like, look, leave that island alone. We're more dangerous to them than they are to us because they've been around each other this whole time. They don't have our diseases because they ain't around us to get them. So for all we know, COVID-19 ain't touched them. But in the same token, if one of us go on the island, we got COVID, that might wipe out that whole race.
Now,
Can
one
you?
thing I want everybody to realize about the Amish, because I'm not saying what I think I know, I'm saying what I know, but the Amish make a lot of their money off of non-Amish people.
Yeah.
They had the flea markets. Like I know we have an Amish market in Annapolis that only open on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. So I think they deal with other people on a regular.
Hmm.
That's why I'm saying I'm kind of like my mind is like I wonder how the rate is in their community.
Right. It'd be nice if we could get one of them to talk on the show, but
Oh,
there's
but they will talk on your show. I know they wouldn't talk. Okay, they be like, oh no, no. I'm like, look, bitch. Okay.
we cannot deal with you, Helena. We have to go.
Yeah, they be like, we can't deal with you. What are you? I say, what's your mother? Okay, but anyway, okay. Well, I just want y'all, and like I say, make sure y'all keep Queen Elizabeth and her family in your prayers.
Yeah.
As her partner of a million years.
Yeah.
Well, my little brother has to get ready to get up off of here. Y'all say thank you to Eric, but we still here. We're not going. Hey, Hugh, what's
Oh yeah.
going on?
I
I'm
strongly
never going
encourage
to
y'all to
behave,
keep
Hugh.
the conversation going, y'all. Just because I'm dipping out don't mean that ain't nothing to discuss. Like I say, y'all seem to have a lot to talk about in regards to what's being said this evening. So y'all keep it rolling, y'all. I'm
And
out
y'all
the
make sure y'all check out my brother tomorrow on
Yep, game time audible. We're doing game time
tomorrow
audible.
night.
I'm thinking we're gonna do 7 o'clock, Hugh. We haven't actually discussed the time, but yeah, Hugh, 7 p.m. tomorrow. We're gonna hook up and talk some sports with you. We had some technical difficulties Wednesday, but tomorrow we are good to go. So we're looking for us then. Until
Well,
then,
yeah, hey, I think my brother. All right, love you.
all right, love you too, bro. I'm out.
I I think my brother would have an easier chance of getting the Amish on his show than Derrick or Halado, honey. You know, you know that bitch. You know I don't care, honey. I'm like, okay, whatever. But okay. Or he said you lied to him and now he gone. But yeah, we got on it. Now one thing I wanted to ask you guys, well, this is gonna be cute. This is gonna be a deep question. Like I said, thank you all for being here. I'm waiting for Amy's response to this and Hugh's. We're gonna talk about this when we come back after this commercial break, and I hope you guys are ready to go. Hugh, I know you're gonna have something to say about this, and I know Amy is. I know Pride is, but we're gonna talk about this when we come back from the commercial break. How's police reform working in your state? Ooh, child, I'm trying to tell you, we're gonna have a conversation about this thing right here. We're gonna take a commercial break, and we'll be back with the remix with your boy Derrick. Oh, no, you're not predictable. I just love your knowledge. Your knowledge just does things for me. Almost make me think I'm straight. Sight.
Come on down. Okay, black on. Get into it. Black on. Look at that. David Ford. Right there. That's his name. Black on. He don't know Tom. Look at that. David Ford. That's his name. He don't know Tom. Yeah. Yes. Oh, here we go. I can see the demons. I can't see the demons, but I can see the light.
We are creating black luxury across this country.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the remix. I'm your boy Derrick. It's Friday night. It's 9:45, and we but ready to get it in. All right, people. All right. So, guys, the question at hand right now is: how is police reform working in your state? Let me say this: here in the wonderful city of Baltimore, Maryland, um, yet we have yet another police officer who is a member of the world renowned, world famous um, gun task force here in Baltimore. He became a member. Check this out, y'all. He became a member of the DEA special unit, but he wasn't a federal agent. And honey, they had this big old bus, big old bus, and somehow the money that they had confiscated when it got to where it was supposed to go. Come on here, somebody. It was close to $10,000 short. Yeah. hmm And I'm ready to read the whole thing to y'all right now. We're very educational here, okay? Let's listen to it. And then y'all can give me y'all insights on how is police reform working in your state. Okay? We're going to find out right now. Baltimore police officer on DEA task force charged with stealing money from a major drug and cash search. Talk about reform. Listen to me. Okay. We're gonna get you on out the way. A Baltimore police officer assigned to a DEA task force was indicted by a grand jury on charges of lying to the FBI about stealing money from the search warrant scene. The latest fallout from the gun trace task force investigation, which was the task force here in wonderful old Baltimore, Maryland. Ethan Glover, listen, listen to me, children. Ethan Glover, an 18-year-old veteran who has been a federal task force officer with the Drug Enforcement Administration since 2013, was charged in connection with the April 2016 seizure of, listen to me, honey, listen, seizure of $2.5 million in Linthicum Heights, the U.S. Attorney's Office announced. When confronted by the FBI in 2020, Glover told, excuse me, federal agent, "I've never stole anything in my life, never money or drugs." Federal prosecutors say that was a lie. The Sun reported on March of 2020 that Glover had been suspended in connection with fallout from the gun trace task force investigation, along with 3 other federal task force officers. 2 of those officers have since been federally charged in addition to Glover. Many of the officers serving, well, anyway, it just went on and on and on to the point that his girlfriend reported that he had put thousands and thousands of dollars in her refrigerator. So my question to you guys: how is police reform working where you are? Because here, I'm only speaking for Baltimore. Miss Pack can help me with it. Montrese can help me with it. Anybody? I don't. And I guess police reform should be more visible to us as citizens than anything. But I don't see much change. They still treat the alphabet children with disrespect. They still treat some people of color with disrespect. So I mean, it's a good little thing to put out there, police reform. But police reform without reform it ain't shit. It's just words. That's all it is. WRDS, words. So my question to you, my wonderful people: how is police reform working in your state? How is police reform working in your area? Is it working, or do you think as though as citizens, police reform was just some lip service bullshit that they put out there to make us think that things were going to get better? Talk to me, people. Come on, Amy, talk to me. You know I love you when you talk. Come on, Hugh, talk to me. Come on, I'm proud. You know I love when you. I don't know where Miss Pat at. She done left me already. But how is police reform? How does police reform work in your area? Do you think it's working? Do you think they need to go back to the drawing board? Um, do you think that okay, Miss Pat, you live here with me, honey. You know Miss Pat said hell to the motherfucking no. It was just lip service. I can do a lot, child. Sometimes I think, oh, okay. See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, and Amy, do me a favor. When did I know Loretta Lynch, who was the Attorney General years ago? I know that she came to Baltimore after and Miss Pat can help me with it. I don't know if she came to Baltimore after Freddie Gray or she came to Baltimore after Officer Suter. But I know she came to Baltimore and she was in, excuse me, y'all. She was in Baltimore City's ass. And I just wanted to know what year, if Amy could help me with that or anybody in my research department, bless me. What year did they supposedly start this reform thing? Because I can speak for Baltimore. I don't I don't see any difference in any way, shape, or form. So I mean, where's the progress in it? I don't see any progress in it. Have any of you seen progress in? I mean, if they consider more police walking the beat, what the fuck ever? Okay, if they consider that reform, you have more police on the beat. My thing is this: I'm not too worried about more police being on the beat. You know what I'm worried about? You know what I'm worried about? I'm worried about police being held accountable for the shit that they do. My brother Hugh said, I've never had trust in police, and police reform will never work. It's too many corrupt cops, and they will never change. And Hugh, and the sad part to that is the part that bothers me the most is those corrupt cops are making it extremely hard for those cops who are really here. Come on here, somebody. Who are really here to serve and protect. Um, Me personally, to me, me personally, it's just my thing. I just think them putting the words out there, police reform, was just a piece of chocolate cake that they was dangling in our face to make us shut the hell up for a little while. But my thing is, if you're going to reform, then reform it and listen to what I'm telling you as a citizen. Reform starts from the fucking top and goes all the way down to the bottom. Because corruption in the police department is like cancer in somebody's body, honey. It's every motherfucking where. Even down to the goddamn meter maids. No, so, we need to. So, thank you. He's so proud. How do you, how Pride Miss Pat said, hell no. Pride Miss Pat, anybody else in the room, what do you think about police reform and police reform in your area? Do you think it's working? Do you think it was just a smoke screen? Do you think they just put that shit out there to have something to say to calm the average beast? I'm listening. To me, like I say, I'll play it again. All views and opinions on this show are strictly mine. I hope my baby is. Okay. I think it's 2015. Yeah, okay. I think Amy. I think it was around that time too. But and during that time, and this may sound crazy, y'all, but during that time, during that short time she spent here in Baltimore, um, I think there was a calming of the police department, but I think that calming was just to show, because they knew heads was going to roll one. So we say 2015, and it is now 2021, and they have to. Don't Let me tell you this. Don't don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Don't tell me you're all out for this police reform and the only thing you're doing is telling me. Don't, like you say. Don't tell. Show me where the reform is working, or the reform is in the process. I don't see any of that. And you know what? All those things, Miss Pat, would be great for us. And here in Baltimore, um, I guess they consider it a letdown if you got to walk a beat. But you know what? That was one of the things that at least made some of the citizens, especially the old as seniors, that was one of the things that made them feel halfway safe is when you walk on the beat. I wish they would come up with a new term for defunding the police because I believe it should at least be looked at before making the decision not to do it. Yeah, I mean, pride. I'm there with you. I mean, you say you want to do these things, and then you pull them out without doing your homework. You can't say you want turn and then people got to get into the nitty gritty of it and realize that when they say defunded, they're not. But they can't say they're just not gonna have police. That's just not even a halfway logical thing to even think. But I'm tired of y'all putting this shit out here to us just as bait, just as something to make us think that everything is going to change, and nothing is changing. Not a damn thing. She spent time with Freddie Gray family in 215, but an investigation wasn't finished when she left. Oh, see? That's the shit that I'm talking about. Investigation was not finished when she left office in 2017. And it's now 2021. Miss Pat said, when they walked the beach, you didn't see too much drug dealings. No, you didn't. Girl, let's keep it real. You didn't see too many drug dealers on the corner if somebody was walking a beat that was about their business. Because damn, girl, let's not go into all of that. Well, the average person hears defund and they automatically think they mean get rid of or don't fund police, but that is not what defund. No, it's not. And I implored all of you to go in, whatever your resources are, to go in. I wish Stan was here. God knows I do. Good evening, Tracy. What we're talking about right now is I'm asking everybody, how is police reform working in your state? Is it working? Was it just lip service that the police department gave? Because like I say, we talked earlier, and Amy helped me with this. Back in 2015, Loretta Lynch came to Baltimore doing a Freddie Gray thing, and honey, she was ready. She said, like, look, bitch, things got to change. It. So, like, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think police reform is working in your state, in your city, in your region, wherever you are? Talk to me. Come on. Me personally, like I say, I think it was just lip service. Even when these police have these trainings on sensitivity, boom, 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 boom. Those trainings they do them because they're required to do it, but that's not my issue. I don't have a problem with you being required to do it, but my issue is that in that reform, and you go through these sensitivity training, I don't want you to go to the trainings and then you don't apply what the training was all about. You go through these sensitivity trainings and you go outside and you treat You treat the transgender lady and the trans man and the black woman and the black man the same way you did before you took the training. So what the fuck? That's what I know why you took the training. You took the training because it was required for you to take the training. Yes, it was. It was required for you to take the training. And I don't have no problem with that. But my problem is if it was required of you to take the training, then why haven't you applied it? Why haven't you applied it to your job? Well, guys, just let me see what did somebody say? What's up? What's up? The fund means put some money in other places like schools, recreation centers. If it worked, you wouldn't see so much addicts on the streets and like Lexington Market, bend over market. But y'all, I'm trying to tell you. Okay. I don't hear how they implemented it here. I don't. And see, and Tracy, I am the same way. I mean, I'm like, chop it, bitch, please. Your girl, what? I mean, it's a cute word. Reform. It's a cute word. Yeah, reform. It's a real cute word. But that word is irrelevant if you don't have actions to implement the reform. Child, please, you know we probably got some goddamn corrupt ass police commissioners all the way down to the damn meter maid. That's nothing new. That's nothing new at all. Looking at the current curriculum for police in Alabama, it appears that they intend to focus on de-escalating and crisis intervention tactics, but somehow left it out. Instead, it's 8 hours mental health awareness, 109 hours of offensive and defensive tactic, and 55 hours of really. Listen to that. 8 hours of mental health awareness. 109 hours of offensive and defensive tactics. And 55 hours on shooting a goddamn gun. So, if they're in the middle of reform, that's that. You know what? America, y'all better get your ass together. So basically, no changes, no surprise. Laugh out loud, Alabama Research Department. Thank you, baby. Same here. Same here. Just because the shit is written on paper, don't mean it has been it has come into fruition. No, it's not. It has not. I can't think of a state in this union. And you know what, Amy? And the sad thing about this is the thing. One of the things that bothers me is that you have these police officers who have listen to what I'm telling you, no mental training, mental awareness, mental nothing. Stepping into a place of maybe a child, maybe a teenager, maybe an adolescent, maybe an adult who have mental issues and they don't know how to deal with them. I'm quite sure that every police department, I could be wrong, but I'm quite sure every police department have a damn psychiatrist on staff or therapist on staff. When you have things of that nature, why are you sending police officers who are not trained to deal with mental health people and expect, come on here somebody, a good outcome? Tell me, I'm listening. If somebody can tell me, I won't say police shouldn't be retrained or receive extra training, but I do believe that said police, aka bad apples, seem to be fully trained when they choose to be. In other words, when many of the victims look like them, they seem to know how to take those people into custody regardless of the situation, which includes resisting arrest, talking back, garnishing weapons, and much more severe crimes. And yeah, you're right. Most definitely. Within 55 hours, they be gunning down black people like it's hunting. Ooh, well, honey, come on. Hello, world. Hello, world. Looking at the article, it says that the regular House session for Alabama starts in February, and the curriculum was current as of January. So it's possible they're still okay. That's what they say, honey. It's possible. Okay, it is possible. It's also possible. No, it's not possible. It's the fact that I'm black. Okay. uh-uh. Mm-mm. Exactly. Most of them are correct. How about the police officers that I told you about that acted racist at the debate and he lied about living in Baltimore City and he lived in Baltimore County? How about the police officers that stolen $10,000 and brought his girlfriend a pair? Oh yeah, we talked about that, Miss Pat. That's why I say is there and he actually was an 18-year veteran of the Baltimore City Police Department, but he was assigned to the DEA task force, and it was a $2.5 million warrant arrest that they came. But guess what? About $10,000 of that money never showed up. Ooh. Real change cannot, I repeat, cannot happen if police are always going to be pardoned because of toxic police. You know what? And this is just my opinion. I think the union is so fucking corrupt with the police department. It's fucking pitiful. That's just my opinion. Okay? Yeah, I mean, because the union. You know what? Let me tell you something. All this technicality bullshit that these police be getting off, and everybody say, well, you know what? If he get this and he get that. First of all, honey, if you know that this charge, how can this charge fit me as a civilian, and it won't fit you because of you're a goddamn police officer? Explain that to me. Seem like just an in service to say that they have trained, but and Tracy, you're right. I think, in my opinion, and I'm gonna say what the fuck I want. I think that these officers, most of these officers attend these trainings, these in services because they are required to. I have no problem with them. The only problem that I have with them is that you are attending these in services, which last, as Amy say, about a day, 8 whole hours, and I have not seen you apply any of the said information that is supposed to be that you're supposed to learn in that section. I wonder, that's $1 million question. How many shootings of, even though police departments have received sensitivity training, de-escalation tactics training, and a mental health training, will it even be worth changing those things? You know what? I'm gonna say this. Is it gonna happen? In my opinion, hell no. Would it make a difference if they really, really instituted the shit that they need to? But the sad part about it is the most I ain't gonna say I'm gonna say most police departments are so damn corrupt that even when you do have those good officers, you have so many other officers in their ear. Well, you can't do this, you can't do that, blah 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 blah, and I really, 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 really feel bad for the officers who are there to do exactly what they're hired to do, to serve and protect. I personally don't particularly care for police. I have my own personal reasons. We can talk about that right now. But I don't. I don't. You know. I remember back in the day. Police used to come outside and play basketball with the kids and kickball and all that kind of stuff. But now I just think that in this day and time, I know when, for whatever reason, when a lot of African American or children of color see police officers, they don't see safety. Come on here, somebody. Come on, talk to me now. Come on. I really believe that. I don't think that they see safety. I'm not gonna say all of them. No, not all of them. Not all of them. But I can tell you, I think deep down in my heart, it's a large portion of them, which is sad. A large portion of them who don't feel safe. And I want you guys to know, as me being a man of color, guess what, honey? Corrupt police officer or corrupt police officer, white, black, blue, green, orange, purple, yellow, or what, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna sit there and say all corrupt police officers are Caucasians, because that's a fucking lie. You feel me? It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. But guys, we're gonna take this commercial break, and this next thing we're gonna talk about. Ooh. You know, I always gotta take a good old commercial break on the remix with your boy Derrick. Okay. Because these things I want to talk about, honey. This is what we're gonna go to, and y'all think about it. This is we're gonna dive into this. What do you think the outcome of the George Floyd trial is gonna be? What do you think? Talk to me. Let me say, I'm a proponent of defunding the police, appropriating funds from city budgets that would normally go to police and putting it into community outreach, school programs, and Amy, I'm here for it. You know, we need to get back to having PAL programs. You know, we need to get back, and let me say this, and when I say that, I'm not talking about, because look, y'all, check this out. Check this out. Here in the African American community, it's more to us than just basketball and football. You know, we want you to get funds so some of our children could go to STEM programs. We want to get some of the funds so some of our children go to Upward Bound. You know, get some of the funds so some of our children can take college prep courses. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I'm so glad. You know, we need to get back to the time. And it's sad that's not how we should feel. We should not feel unsafe and uncomfortable. I definitely don't feel safe around police enforcement. Definitely when they're killing my people, and many of them lost their lives and they were innocent and unarmed. Jesus have mercy. No, you're not. It's not just you. I mean, well, I'll share this with you guys because I love you guys. Sometimes I can get around police officers, and I thank God, but sometimes I get around police officers and I can be borderline panic attack. It's my thing. It's a mental thing. Whatever you want to call it. I don't. I don't. And no, I don't feel safe around police officers. But we're gonna take this commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna jump into this. What do you think the outcome of the George Floyd trial is going to be? What do you think is going to be? We're gonna take this commercial break on the remix with your boy Derrick, and we will be back.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Behind the Blue Curtain, Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Unscripted talk on police reform and race relations.
And now, Behind the Blue Curtain's law enforcement liaison, retired 32-year Chicago police veteran, homicide detective, former commander, sergeant, grant writer, lecturer, and adjunct professor, Joseph J. Mosley.
Behind the Blue Curtain's minister of common sense, former 12-year Fort Worth police officer, educator, voice of reason, and unapologetic practitioner of sound judgment, the young scholar, LaRonda Young.
Behind the Blue Curtain's co-host, fact checker, and investigative journalist is Isidoro Rodriguez.
What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the remix. I'm your boy Derrick. What's going on? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. The question on the topic that we're going to talk about at this particular point in time is, what do you think the outcome of the George Floyd trial is going to be? But before we do that, I always have to read my comments. Everyone talks about the police reform like it's the only answer. Want to lower crime instead of adding more guns to cops. Change the fucking laws that keep people destitute and desperate. Provide proper, come on here, Amy. Come on here, somebody. Provide proper mental health care. Invest in schools. Give women bodily autonomy so they can stop raising children they don't want or love. It's not simple though. It's not, but this is just me. Hey, Amy. See, I got both of my Amy's in the room. One of the things for me is, I think a key proponent in establishing police reform is having the civilians a part of a task force that have some say or some insight on what they feel as though that the police is in their city need to be doing, should be doing, blah 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 blah. Because you can't do police reform and you're only using what the union says. Because let me tell you something, this motherfucking union here in Baltimore, they are a bunch of whatever you want to call them. Okay. So what do you guys think the outcome of the George Floyd trial is going to be? Be honest, girl. We got a black man. We got a first. I'm just ready to say some shit up in here. So what do you guys think the outcome is going to be? Has anybody been watching the trial? I know me personally, I can't watch the trial because mentally it wouldn't be a wise thing for me to do. I will take time and I will watch the highlights, but I can't. I'm not one of the people that can sit up there and watch court TV and watch this trial all day long and keep on reliving. I just feel sorry for his family and his children that they have to relive all of that. So the George Floyd case, I can't see him being pardoned, acquitted. There's too much evidence that he was the bare minimum criminally negligent. And that's, Amy, I'm so glad you brought that up. That's one of the issues. Yeah, and see that's what I do too, Amy. I just I'll hear stuff from the Nighthawk Network. I'll go and I'll do my little research or whatever, and even sometimes the research becomes too graphic in my reading that I have to, because I know it works for me, and that's not the thing. That's not the thing that so first of all, this is my opinion. I don't think that that the officer is being charged properly. I personally, I get so sick of these trials, and the person whose life was taken somehow managed to be on trial. I think at best murder 3 or manslaughter, because we know the only people we've heard from is the defense. I'm hoping for a better outcome than I've stated, but the privilege of the badge and white is still a very, you know what? But how can you refute the motherfucking evidence that was right there in front of your face? The doctors that describe the evidence of the video play by play, that's going to haunt me. I could. Ooh, Jesus, keep me. I can't. No, that space right there is not a good space for a bitch like me. No ma'am, no ham, and no turkey. I can't do it. I'm grateful for all you guys who, get your information and share it with me. I'm very, very grateful and elated for that. Um, yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, the sad thing about it is the list is getting longer and longer and longer. It is. There's been at least 4 officers that have testified that his kneeling on the neck was never trained. Wow. And that's oh, Jesus. Y'all pray for me here. And that's the thing that gets me. All this evidence is here. And let me tell you something. Shit, what he did in his past, what he might did that day, it does not justify you taking somebody's life. And you also got to look at the fact that him and Floyd worked together. What kind of working relationship did they have? Unfortunately, people with the badge think they're exempt from every goddamn thing. They think they're exempt from beating the shit out of their spouses. Think they're exempt from, they just called one of the homeboys from the district to come for this domestic violence, and the shit is never filed, and the shit goes on, and on, and on, and on. Tracy, you know what? Y'all do they do so. First of all, how you gonna tell us not to believe what the hell we saw? I know it wasn't no ghost on the ground of George Floyd. They didn't have a close working relationship. They just both did security at the same club and not always at. Okay, but maybe he didn't know George Floyd, but he knew of George Floyd. And like I say, the whole thing about this case is really blowing my mind as they try to make this man seem like he was so combative, and because he may have been possibly high, blah blah blah. Guess what, boo? That whole situation could have been handled differently by the police. You tell me how. I think they. I don't think they knew each other. I don't think they was like going out to have drinks or sitting at the bar drinking or whatever. I just think they knew of each other, knew that they worked together, but I don't think they had any kind of a working relationship at all. And this whole George Floyd thing, he was claustrophobic, right? He was panicking when they tried to shove him in the right. And this, Amy, what are we talking about here? Mental health. Okay, the man, and when he was panicking, you could have just brought. I don't understand why, if he was panicking, you brought him out the car. Again, another example of people not having any sort, people on the police department not having any sort of mental health training whatsoever. I.e., like when they maced the little girl in the back of the police car. Come on, y'all. This shit that I wouldn't care if the girl was white, green, blue, yellow, or purple. The child was a minor. And you got all these goddamn grown-ass police officers that can't even handle a child without 2 officers macing her. Get the fuck out of here. I'm a witness to that, as my brother has been an addict for years, and every time he got in some trouble, my parents would call him to save my brother from acquiring any charges. So sad and disappointed, even though I miss his sister. Even though I'm his sister. Well, yeah, that thing is deep. That thing is deep. Hello, didn't that 8 hours of mental health awareness teach you about Okay, now, Amy, we talking about eight. We talking about 8 whole hours, a day's work, child. You didn't teach about claustrophobic. Didn't teach him about anything. I think one person is going to try and get him off. They're going to whip, and you know what? Um, Rev, I think this, their saving grace is, unfortunately, I think that they're going to find some back down hole, back in a hole in the wall, some kind of technicality. No, he didn't. There's no way humanly possible. You're going to tell me that man did what he did, and he had compassion, empathy, or compassion. Period. And you know what, Doc, I'm there too. No, Amy, you're not clowning. You're stating facts. Period. You know, that's where I am too. I really don't think that they will do the right thing. We are in a police state where they can do anything that they want. They are above the law, and they will always make bad choices that will always be. It's sad. It's sad, but it's facts, honey. Just like this is nothing new. And that's about the gist of it for me as well. Marla, I'm aware. I don't. Negligence. That's if 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 they get that. Because my issue is, when I like with the police department, my thing is, why every time you're in the middle of an investigation or blah 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 blah, you're always suspended with pay. What the hell? What is that teaching you? You're sitting home for a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and you still getting paid. What, girl? You just paid me to sit home and not do nothing and don't have to worry about none of that. Yeah, I know, child. Y'all better get it together. I agree with Dr. Facey. Murder in the first isn't the right charge, but because he didn't set out to kill George Floyd that day, understand first degree to be murder with premeditation and intent. Yeah, but we know where we know it. We I think anybody who has any insight of the law know that that's not going to happen. I would have to go into my research and see how many police officers that were ever charged with first degree murder went to jail. And what I'm praying, I'm praying that the day when this verdict is read, whew, might turn out not to be. Obviously, he murdered George Floyd and should be charged with murder and not. And yeah, we should. But see, my Amy, you're so right. And my problem is, if this man comes back acquitted and get off of all charges, do right. That's the question. To what degree? If this man get acquitted of all charges, where do you think this country is going to be? Yes, but that one person, remember, they pick jurors based upon. Yeah, so I'm often when situations of this magnitude happen, I'm often um, taken back to um, the Freddie Gray case here in Baltimore. Yeah, they're not even gonna that's not even gonna be a factor. They're gonna say that they work together, but they didn't have a working relationship. Blah blah blah. But they're gonna go. Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you, but honey, if that man right there comes back acquitted from all charges, honey, it is going to be hell to pay. That city, that city won't be the same again. I'm trying. It will not. And I do. I'm not gonna lie. I do pray that it would never come to that. But keeping it real, that thing. First of all, I know for a fact that if he's acquitted, protests are going to happen everywhere. Only thing that I'm praying is that if and when they protest, because we know how our protests, even in the midst, come on here, somebody, even in the midst of us protesting non-violently, there's someone that's always going to be set in the mix to make things a little different. Hey, I thank God we have the last say. The prosecution have been doing a good job this week with all their witnesses. I think the officer will be charged with manslaughter. But you know what? My concern, Brandon, my DC buddy up in the house, my concern is my not I'm always concerned that justice is done, but in certain cases we realize more than ever that justice is really blind when it comes to a certain side of the track. Exactly. That Freddie Gray case, they found the lady back at the precinct more responsible than the officers that put him in. Child, I'm trying to tell you, it's gonna be that city is that city is not gonna be in a good place with people of color. I said it once and I'll say it again. And this is the platform that I've been blessed with. Enough is enough, yo. Y'all sit around here, y'all talk about police reform. It ain't happening. You ain't reforming nothing. Yeah, you put in your curriculum that you have 10 hours of this and 15 hours of that and 20 hours of that, and of all the things that's in your curriculum, one of the most important things that need to be a serious part of your curriculum is the thing that you spend less time on: mental health. You spend 55 hours on shooting your gun, 109 hours on how to take somebody down, blah 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 blah, and you spend 8 whole hours on mental health. Okay, I don't know how that works in your world. Voluntary manslaughter better be the one if that's the case. Yeah, and guess what, y'all? I love y'all so much, but I love our conversations. Freaking manslaughter ain't but 10 years, and you ain't got to do but 4 or 5. Guess what? Say what you want, think what you want. This your boy Derrick with the remix. My thing is this: I'm just at the point that I just need police officers time to fit the crime. Me personally, this is just me. I think once you go up like that, they need to look at you as a girl. It's mind boggling. Does it bother me? Yeah, it bothers me. Is it gonna change? Do I hope it changes? Hell to the yes. Is it gonna change? That remains to be seen. We never take for granted that black man lives is more important than a white man's life. Life is important to me, period. But when you police as whom they are, when you so unproportionately take the lives of African Americans like 4, maybe 5 times as much as you would. Excuse me. Let me just I say African American people of color compared to their Caucasian counterparts. something has to be done. And looking from where I'm sitting, something has to be done. Ask me, Derek, you think something is done? They're doing something? No, not at all. Yeah, and you're right. It is, but in reality, hypothetically speaking, just using an analogy, hypothetically speaking, a Caucasian man life is worth $1, a black man's life is worth 25 cents, whatever, and it's I've been on this earth for 55 years. I didn't seen something, and I keep on saying this, and I'm gonna say it until the cows come home. The whole thing with that is it becomes so hard for pretty much, but it ain't close to $1, doc. You know what I'm saying? Um, it becomes so disheartening, and like I say all the time, and I don't want anybody to be up on it and think that Derek is bashing Caucasian police officers. That's not what I'm doing, because I'm telling you this for fact. There are Asians, there are people of color, there are all kinds of police officers that are corrupt. I'm not saying it's just the Caucasian ones. Who would say that? Oh, well, I'm sorry, baby. Um, okay, thank you, Doc. Um, so I don't, I don't know. I'm just trying to mentally prepare myself, because at the end of the day, the outcome of this trial will be the determining factor of how people are going to respond to the verdict. Like my homeboy in DC say, they will ride in all cities if the officer get off, which is very sad. But I just think they counteract our peaceful protests, and they try to make them into violent protests. Because like I said, I was here. I lived the Freddie Gray trial. And I know Doc Marler and Miss Pat, and the sad thing about that was that with the Freddie Gray situation was, that's you know what, Doc, if I could figure that out, I would be okay. And it's to relive, that when that situation happened, and then his family um um took a settlement from the city, which unfortunately made the whole dynamics of the whole situation change. Um, it's it's sad, and I just, like Amy said earlier, that's when Loretta Lynch came to Baltimore in 2015 during the Freddie Gray situation, and then she incited that this city needed to reform. Yeah, I didn't, that one right there, the Rodney King trial. For those of you old enough to remember, I didn't like that either. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Do you think it's the white people making a statement ahead of this trial outcome? I don't know, Doctor. That's a good question, but um, at this particular point in time, my only mind is just, I don't want them to rush through this trial at all. I want this trial to be done properly and done correctly. Because we all know that early on the defense tried to get the venue changed. Child, why would you change the venue? Everybody and their grandmother know all about this trial. Trust me, you could have take this place to bump Egypt, and people would have known about it. So no, I just think that was a ploy um, to to try to make this officer think, okay, that's your city. Why wouldn't you get trial in your city? There's no way possible you're gonna think that there's anybody on this whole daggone continent that didn't hear anything about this trial. Do you think it's the white people? No, I don't. No, Dr. Mal, I think a lot of people are making statements ahead of the trial, and or people are making statements on what they think should be done, blah 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 blah. But you know what? At the end of the day, the sad part about it that I, is that they're going to try to use the law to their advantage. I don't know why. I'm just feeling that this. Whew. Research Department, Part 1, Minnesota law that applicable to this case. Manslaughter in the second degree, aka involuntary manslaughter, is causing the death of another person through means of negligence that created a unreasonable risk and consciously change it causes death or bodily harm. Ooh. So that's the best. Involuntary manslaughter, which carries what, a 10-year sentence. You're talking about 10 years compared to taking somebody's life, taking somebody's son, taking somebody's father, taking somebody's brother. There's no amount of time that you could spend on the other side of taking somebody's life, and you think in any way possible that 10 years is sufficient, and keep it in mind that he'll probably be out in 4 to 5, if not sooner. So that's why I say, a lot of these cases, we got to go into those cities and those states and dissect their laws so we can get a better understanding of what may, could, and can possibly happen. If I had my choice, yes, I wish he would get charged for first degree murder. We know that's not going to happen. That's not even in the cards. So don't even fool yourself to think that. Like I say, my biggest fear, Derrick Smith, my biggest fear is a acquittal. We're going to take this commercial break, and we will be back to the remix with your boy Derrick. And my question to you is, if this officer get acquitted of all charges, what do you think is going to happen in that city when we come back to the remix with your boy Derrick?
Hey, bitches.
And now, once again, from the iconic city of Baltimore, we bring you season 2 of Helena Hologram. Hey, bitches, let's talk about it.
All right. Welcome back to the remix. I'm your boy Derrick. What's going on? I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Oh, there's rain out here. Well. So my question to you, wonderful people, is: if this man is acquitted, what do you think that city is going to go through? Talk to me. If this man is acquitted, okay, here we go. Got something else from Amy. Thank you, Amy, Research Department. Part 2, Minnesota law that's applicable to this case. Manslaughter in the second degree carries a sentence of not more than 10 years or the payment of a $20,000 fine or both. Sentence can be varied depending on the criminal history. You know what? And that's what I have a little slight issue with. What you did at that particular point in time is what you did. So you're telling me that if I'm a police officer and I had a clean history of violence, then I'm gonna be charged different, even though I can't get the fuck out of it. I'm sorry, y'all. Excuse me, but get you know what? That's why I tell y'all, do your research like Amy and Big E and I do. Do your research and find out, because now this is getting even. Child, now you're making me think that the only thing they're gonna make this man do is pay a goddamn $20,000 fine. This is somebody. Whoo, come on here, somebody. Look at Miss Cookie. That doesn't work for me. That does not work for me at all. I'm sorry. No way. You can't get around that. Sorry. Not a good look. Mm-mm. But that's what it is. That's where we are, and that's from that city, that state. That's all we gonna get. All we ever gonna get. And 20. Amy. I'm just beside myself. You just said a $20,000 fine. Okay, that's what it says. And your sentence can vary depending on your criminal history, mitigating factors, and prior history of violence. Child, say what you want. Bullshit. Man, I'm not worrying about your past history of violence. I'm not worrying about mitigating factors. I'm not worrying about your criminal history. I'm worried about what you did to that man at that particular point in time. So what you're telling me, you're going to justify his sentencing because he didn't have a prior history of violence, which he probably did. Okay, we ain't gonna get into that. But honey, if that's the oh my God, 10 years, 10 years, y'all, or a payment of $20,000, or both. And in my opinion, neither one of them are sufficient. And then my question: okay, you're gonna pay a $20,000 fine. Who the hell is the fine going to? Is the fine going to the police department? Is the fine going to the city? Is the fine going to the family? Is the fine going to the police union? 10 years, $20,000. Girl, really? Boop. Right church, wrong pew. No. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm grateful to all of you guys, Tracy, Marla, Amy, all you guys who can watch it. Like I said, stated earlier, I can't. It's not beneficial for me to watch it. I'll get the the highlights, and I'll come on shows on this platform where they talk about it and listen to it. But I'm not in the place. I'm not in the place, nor am I in a space to even contemplate watching a trial. It would not work good with my mental psyche. I'm trying to tell you, I'm not And if you got and if you can, I'm grateful and I'm thankful that you can. I'm not him. I'm not that person. I'm not that person at all. Heads up, you guys. If any of you guys are on Bigo, every Monday at 11:30, I do gospel therapy from 11:30 to about, I don't know, until I stop. So if any of you guys are on Bigo and you want to check me out, Helena Hologram, I do my gospel therapy every Monday at 11:30. I follow right behind Big E on his Bigo. Part three. Oh, here we go. Minnesota laws that's applicable to this case. Murder in the third degree states that their officers caused the death of another by whew. I would yeah, 25 years I could I could go for that a whole lot better than um that 10 years. But then and that thing right there says sentence is not more than 25 years because he can get that sentence and get 5 damn years. I don't My opinion when it comes down to police officer, I don't think that their time represents the crimes that they do, and that's just my opinion, and I'm entitled to that. Okay, I don't think their crime their time ever um I don't think their time ever is suitable for the crimes that they've committed. And again, unfortunately, because they have that thing called the badge, um, ooh, Jesus, it does things to me. Makes them think that they are exempt from the law. I don't understand how you are sworn to uphold the. Come on here, somebody. You are sworn to uphold the law, and then when you don't, you're not held accountable for what you do or what you did. Like Amy said earlier, I think it was Amy. They need to go back and revamp these laws that has been on the books since 1907. Girl, it's 2021. These laws need to be feasible for everybody involved. People of color, Caucasian people. Well, we ain't gonna worry about Caucasian people too much. But anyway, and Caucasian people, people of color, Asian. These laws need to be suitable for everybody that's in your city, and mm-mm. Girls, that doesn't sit well with me at all, and it's scary. And like I said earlier, it's really sad that I know that probably a large portion of young African Americans, females and males, um, it's more of them that are probably scared of the police than, and not only the children, adults. More of them that are scared of the police, don't trust the police more than there are people who feel safe around the police. I just don't I just that's just how it is. Now don't get me wrong. I don't condone if this man is acquitted, all the rioting that may happen. But what is this country doing? What are these police officers doing to make us feel safe and make us feel that this won't happen again? What are they doing? You want to know what I think they're doing to make sure that this never happens again? Watch this. This is what I think they're doing. This is what I think they're doing to make sure this never happens again. What are they doing? Nothing. Not one thing. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. I don't, y'all know I love you, but that thing right there, here we go, part four. Yes, Amy, I love you. Minnesota law that's applicable to this case. Murder in the second degree. Intentional murder causes the death of a human with intent to affect the death, but without premeditation. What? That one is kind of close to Amy. Ooh, child, you. The research department is on fire tonight. Fire. Fire. So I don't. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna do nothing. I don't think they want to do nothing. And the sad part about it is just my opinion. I think the damn the police unions are more corrupt than the damn police department. You know, honey, it is what it is. I just pray that I do pray that things would be different with this trial. I do, I do. But being realistic, in my inner gut, I just personally don't think that this trial is going to be. I like that one right there, Amy. Give him 40 years. Give him 40 years and make him pay a $500,000 fine. How about that? $20,000. Child boo. The police union probably pay that shit for him because you know he pay his dues or whatever the case may be. Nope, Amy, that's not. I like that one, but guess what? If you think that one's gonna happen, raise your hand. My point exactly. I don't, y'all. Whew. Like I said earlier, um, let us make sure that we keep DMX and his family in our prayers. Make sure we keep Prince Philip and the royal family in our prayers. And let's just remember to keep our family, our friends, try even keep your enemies in prayer. You know what I'm saying? It's it's it's. Ooh, it is what it is. It is. It is what it is. And you guys can find these resources on Reservoir MN Government Status Site 609. So you, Amy, when you find when you go on that site, do you just put in your city or your state as far as the laws for things of that nature? And research is a good thing, y'all. You know, you just that's why I couldn't get on here tonight and say anything about DMX as far as blah 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 because we all know that the toxicology report has not been in, and that's that will be fact. So from time to time on my shows here on Mondays, Hey Bitches, and the remix, I may, bring it up. I just, like I say to everybody, just please, y'all, keep his family and his children and everybody in prayer because, whew, 50 years old, gone, lived a hard life, but I know he brought joy to people's lives. Like I said, I've never been a rapper, hip hop fan per se, but um, I enjoyed his music. I enjoyed his most definitely. I enjoyed his acting. He put smiles on my face, and I know me and my nieces, we DMX, whatever, But I'm just so saddened by what has transpired. And we're gonna take a commercial break, and we come back. Some of y'all might not want to be here for this one, okay? This one is gonna be a humding because this thing this thing that's coming up right here, ooh honey, it's a mess. It's not a mess. It is what it is. We're gonna talk about it, y'all. Let me see. Let me see. Do I got it? Oh, that was about the young man. That's the actual link for the Minnesota 2020 status of you take off the point .9. I'll take you to a list of since. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to check that out because I'm a knowledge person. I love knowledge. Knowledge knowledge really is power. I'm sitting here working with my other device because I had this story already up, and I'm trying to figure out why my tablet is turned around the way that I don't want it turned around. But I'm trying to find this story for you guys. We already did the Baltimore guy who sold $10,000. They should have. Mm-mm. 609.02 is definitions of legal. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. I need to look that up and find out. Good night, Amy. You stay safe. And you be good. We're gonna see each other soon. But tomorrow's show is canceled because it rained all day today. And that back is not feasible for me to wear my stilettos and fall in the mud. This one right here, when I read this, oh come on. I found this actually on Facebook, but we're gonna talk about it. We might talk about it a little bit on Monday with my special guest, my nephew Chief Ebony Hope. Um, Let me tell you something. DMX, that man right there, I love you. I know, Amy. I can't go out there in that backyard, but maybe I'll do one next week. But we gonna most definitely get it done here soon with my special family friends. But yes, Tracy, DMX, like I say, he was I. Oh wow, Amy. Whew, child. Now this is this thing right here. When I read this today, let me do this real quick, y'all, because I don't want y'all sit here looking at me looking crazy. Okay, we're gonna put this up real quick, a little bit. Stop. All right, welcome back to the remix with your boy Derrick. I am that boy, that man. Okay, but we're going to bring tonight to a close. I want to thank you all for being here, um, sharing with me on this Friday night. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I admire you guys. You guys are here on the Nighthawk Network. On Tuesdays you can spend time with my little bro Big E on Get Off My Lawn. On Wednesdays you can also spend time with him on Game Time Audible. If I'm not mistaken, I think on Thursdays is when Dr. Crayley is on. I'm sure she can let you guys know. We also have Pastor Sean Love. We have coming up soon on the Nighthawk Network, Israel Room and the Gospel According to Pride. Going to be two new shows here on the Nighthawk Network. We also have that wonderful show, Girl Stop. So, and then my other half, my counterpart, Miss Helena Hologram, hey bitches, live every Monday at 9 o'clock. This Monday we will have Mr. Keith Ebony Holt, who's an up and coming politician. He's a ballroom historian, so he's gonna let us know the difference or how accurate poise, whatever the hell you call the show, is how accurate it is to the ballroom scene today. Because if you keep in mind, poise was supposed to be poise. I don't know that how it's supposed to be ballroom scene in like the 80s or whatever. But we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about some things about young black African American men. How do they feel safe or how do they feel unsafe in their communities? And I'm talking about African American means men, straight, bisexual, trisexual, disexual, it doesn't matter. Do they feel safe as a African American male in this world on today? Do you think they do? Think about it. But we will talk about that on Monday, guys. And I'm greatly appreciative of you guys. I'm so glad that you guys joined me tonight. I want you guys to have a wonderful evening. Be safe. Show love. And if I don't see you anymore this weekend, if Derrick don't see you anymore this weekend, you know daggone well that you will see my girl on Monday at 9 o'clock p.m. for Hey Bitches Live. Love you guys. Let me see something. I'm trying to see. Every time I try to find this thing, I always end up in the wrong place. I need to change these things around because I got my commercials where they're not supposed to be. Okay. Well, guys, I love you. I gotta make sure I read all of my part 5. Okay, I love this, Amy. Part 5, Minnesota law that's applicable to this case 609066. Deadly force justified if one officer is protecting themselves or another from great bodily harm or death, provided that the threat can be articulated with specificity and reasonable likely to occur without direct action from the officer and must be addressed through deadly. I'm over it. Over it, as the children say back in the day. Hated it. Yeah, I'm one of them. We didn't like it at all. Sorry. Well, guys, love you guys. Let me let you see a couple more things on the Nighthawk Network before I close out the night.
This is the Nighthawk Network. Our voices for our people. Nighthawk Network. Good night, Miss Pat. Love you. And Amy said, passing counterfeit money is a felony, but not fall under bodily harm, because under this statute. Oh, child. They's coming up with some things. Good night, Miss Pat. I love you. I'll give you a holler tomorrow. You know how we do, baby girl. All right, guys. I love you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on the remix with your boy, Derrick. What's up? Oh, and if I don't see you anymore this weekend, I pray that you have a safe and blessed weekend. And I'll see you here on Monday at the appointed place and time. Govern yourselves accordingly. All right. Good night. Peace. Be good.